Hey YouTube, Jeremy here, the One Wild Crafter. This is not a solo video. I'm going to be joined by my friend Chris, the Wooded Beardsman, and we're going to have some adventures, some winter wonderland adventures, because it is that season. We got some different plans, including snaring rabbits and doing some grouse hunting. Maybe some fishing. We'll see what the weather brings and what our plans and circumstance deliver. So one of the big plans though is to snare some snowshoe rabbits. So this is a hare, snare, and cook video. We've already got a few snares set up. There's some hare tracks here, and I actually previously had a snare set up on that wire fence and caught 2 hares a couple weeks ago. So I've got 2 snares to check today, and I think I will set up 2 more. I'll show you a little bit about how I set them up, and we got to keep our eyes peeled because they're not going to show great in the snow, but these are grouse tracks. You can maybe see a little more clearly the outline of the footprint here, and they've been in here for the last couple of months. They're in here steady. At first they were eating the wild raisins, and right now I'm not sure what they're eating, but I do see them almost every time that I come up. So I have the Edgun Leshy tucked away in my backpack, and in my experience it's a pretty good cold weather performer. It doesn't seem to affect the air pressure or anything in the little pre-charged tank, and I'm pretty confident about popping a grouse with that or a snowshoe hare. Oh, did you hear that? That was the sound of a grouse flying. All talk and no watching makes Jeremy an unsuccessful hunter. That's why a lot of the time if I'm hunting, I don't really film the hunt. It's hard to hunt and film at the same time. But do my best because I know you guys want to see some of the action. See what I see, and I'll show you what I see as I go along. I'm going to show you how I set snares. I learned from my dad. I'm in Ontario, and in Ontario, with a small game hunting permit, you are allowed to snare snowshoe hares, and to do so you have to use a certain gauge of wire. I think it's either 18 or 20 or 22 or 24. Maybe I'll put in a little text box with the actual regulation. And the diameter of the snare has to be less than 4 inches. There's a grouse. Look at him run. Oh, did you see him? I would have seen him if I wasn't looking at myself in the camera. So I'll show you a couple of snares that I have set up, how I make them, and what my technique is, and maybe if I turn this camera off, maybe I'll shoot a grouse. Pay a little more attention. Safety's on, ready to go. Now that I'm ready, grouse are probably all gone. I think in some of my videos I've mentioned how I have spring water just a couple hundred meters from my house, so I'll show it to you since I have not yet done that. But here it is, just pure spring water coming out of the ground. And there's a dugout spot just nearby to me here where you can scoop it right out and drink nature's perfect water. Check this out. Oh, you can't see it. Where are we here? Headgun Leshy's got a little D-clip, so I can hands free it. Just hangs by my side, and then something comes by, boom, right there, snug on the shoulder. And I've just got it clipped onto the pack frame. So again, hands free, just hangs by my side, down at about my knee height, so it's not going to drag in the snow, it's not going to pick up mud. Can kind of do stuff as long as I don't crouch down and put the muzzle in the snow. I'm good. And then as soon as I see something, up it comes. It's right there at my eye. Pow. Maybe I'll take a thumbnail shot here. Ooh, yeah. Cool, eh? Alright, let's get back to this snaring business. This is where I had a snare set up previously, and I just lifted it to not have it set up because I caught a hare there a couple days ago. Came up with my kids, cut a Christmas tree, picked up a hare, and now that there's a bit of fresh snow, you can see there's a pretty good hare trail back in this exact same spot. So I'm going to move the snare from the left side of the trail to the right side of the trail, and I'll show you how I'm going to set that up. So I've changed my snaring technique a little bit this year. In other years I've looked for a trail that's already going past a stick and then attached my snare onto that branch or that tree or sapling or whatever is already there. And this year I'm working more at making a set where the trail is at its best and not necessarily where I find a nearby branch. And currently what I'm liking is to have a forked stick and a straight stick. And then what you can do is push them both into the snow, and then you can kind of adjust the straight stick along on your forked stick to get your snare in the ideal location. And the hares aren't that big and they aren't that strong, so just by having these pushed into the snow and locked with each other on the fork, I haven't had a hare run off with a snare yet. So I'm going to move my snare from the one side of the trail to the other side of the trail, and the first thing I want to do is fix up this snare. So I caught a rabbit in there yesterday. There's still some hair on here, and now what I want to do is smooth this snare back out so it doesn't have any kinks in it, and set it back up. So I'm going to unwind it. I'm going to pull it back through the loop so that it is just the straightish wire. And I'm going to take my gloves off because you can't get anything done with gloves on. And I'm going to make sure that there's no rabbit hair left on the wire, because that'll stand out and you don't want them to spot your snare. Some people will even use a little bit of soot and they'll black the wire out, because I'm using brass wire and people say, oh, it'll shine in the moonlight. Okay, so you can see it's lost a bit of its smoothness. So on this end, all I've done is twist the wire around on itself to make the loop. And I'm going to smooth out this length of wire by, I guess I'll lift my knee up to show you. Just put it on my knee and pull it back and forth a few times. And then what it does is it puts this nice curve back in the wire. So now if I feed my other end in through, push that through, and now it's partially smoothed out my snare. I actually don't like how that turned out, so I'm going to do that one more time. few times on my knee. Feed it back through. Okay, this one's got a better shape to it. So then what you want to do is just kind of shrink it down to the size you want. And my dad taught me that your fist should just fit in there. I'm going to put a little bend on the wire there just to keep it from sliding around too much. And there's my snare. So let's set it up over here. So I'm going to approach this trail from the side. And put my fork stick into the snow and put my straight stick in. And kind of set it up at about the height that I want. Now, we want this snare just about, I put them about 2 inches above the trail. And I like to get at least 2 wraps around my anchor stick. Then I'm going to do at least 3 or 4 wraps around the snare wire and then bend my loose end back up. I'm sure not all of that was caught on camera because my hand was in the way. And then just by moving my stick and my snare, I'm going to make sure that I'm roughly centered on that path. Now the other trick is you can put a couple of guides in. So, and they don't have to be big. Just a little twig will do. So in the same way that you'll duck under a twig when you're walking through the bush, the rabbits will too. So I'm just gonna put a couple of guides here. Just keep the hares moving straight through. Now, a big trick with this is you want to use a dead twig, which is what I grabbed. If you grab live twigs, then the hares might actually stop and then start chewing on them. So it's good to just grab dead deciduous twigs or grab dead twigs off of a conifer. There are hare tracks everywhere, but there are also some carnivore tracks here. And I think they are about the right stride length for a fox, but they're a little bit indistinct. Actually, the toes look a little bit more spread on this one here. It might actually be a fisher track, and I know there's been one around because my deer baiting spot is not far from here, and I got a fisher on my game camera. If a fisher goes in one of my snares, it'll just break the wire. But people sometimes catch foxes by accident in their snares. I'll show you this. This was a spot. There was a bit of a rabbit run here, you can see. And so what I did is I threw this bent conifer sapling here so that I could set up a snare there in the future. So I might put one there later. So here's a bunny trail, and there's my snare over there, and it looks like there's a fresh bunny track, and it did not go in my snare because it passed a little bit to the right of my snare. So I'm going to get in there and readjust my guide sticks to make sure that the hares get closer to the snare on their next run through. So I'm just approaching the trail from the side, and I brought a couple of dead conifer twigs with me. So I'm just going to make my guide a little bit closer, and maybe what I'll do is move my snare a little bit closer to the side that they want to be running on anyway. Should be good like that. Hear the blue jays having a little shout at me. Okay, we're just coming up on my last set snare. Oh, look at that. Truck's going in and they definitely deked around to the side of that snare, so I'm going to have to put a couple of guides in there as well. Pretty good run over here, so maybe what I'll do is come around the side of it and set up this snare that I've been carrying with me. So this one's still smooth, which means I don't have to take it apart and re-smooth it on my knee. It should be all right. It's already kind of a spot here to set it up. Just get it down at the right height here. Right there. And use a couple of dead twigs. Guide. Hop, 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 hop. Yoink. That's how it works. So now that they're set up, I'll just leave them till tomorrow. Mostly the hares are active at night. So you can check your traps once a day. And what have I caught here so far? 6 snowshoe hares in the last few weeks. So I'm doing alright. I haven't really set too many snares. You have a daily limit of 5. That doesn't really specify how many snares you're allowed to set, but presumably you should not set so many that you risk catching over your limit of hares. So I try and limit myself to 5 snares. The likelihood that you would catch one in every snare is pretty low. You never know. So I'll check back in tomorrow when we come and check these with the Wooded Beardsman and have some good adventures. There he is.
It caught me mid setup.
So I don't know if I said it on my earlier clip, but I was trying to guess if you were going to bring your new 12 gauge or your lighter 20 gauge.
Yeah, I brought the 20.
I thought you might. Yeah.
Only because, well, I have lots of ammo left for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I brought the 22 as well, but I since sighted it in for 30 yards. I don't know if that, and the grouse, you kind of.
Yeah, they're usually closer than that.
Closer than that, and
same
then
as the bunnies, right?
Yeah. So I'll see what I use.
Cool.
It'll be either that or this.
Yep.
Yeah, the 20 or the 12's a little bit big, I think.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, for hauling around all day. It's
Yeah.
good for a
It's
goose
actually-
sit or like a stand, right?
It's actually lighter than this one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That one's quite a bit shorter, right?
this one?
Yeah, a few inches shorter.
I think the other one's just better quality, right?
Okay.
It's a higher end gun.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one like it's just a cheapie. The other one's
Yeah.
like 3-4 times as much money.
Yeah, yeah.
This is just good for plinking around.
Yeah.
So I did remember to change the barrel on it.
Yeah.
Because I had the rifle barrel on it, and then halfway
Yeah.
down the stairs, I did forget my snowsuit, so I had to buy a new pair. And then, yeah, and then I just feel through the sock, and I'm like, oh shoot, I got the
Yeah.
iron sight at the top, so I switched that up real quick.
The slug barrel.
Anyway, lots of running around this year for the channel, so
Yeah.
trying to keep everything straight.
Busy, busy.
See if we can get some grouse and some hare.
Yep, that's the plan.
All right.
So we're just going to pop up the trail. We'll check those 4 snares that I set yesterday. And I've been seeing grouse 90% of the time when I go up there, I see grouse. 90% of the time, all the time.
Yeah.
So Chris is going to walk up front and shoot them. And I will just follow along behind and check snares. And hopefully we have a good start to this hare snare adventure, grouse hunt, winter grouse hunt. Yeah. So these tracks were probably fresh last night, but we got a couple inches of snow overnight. So probably, if I don't have hares in my snares, I'll probably have to lift them up a little bit, which is the advantage of having them on the loose sticks. You just move the stick and then you've lifted your snare up. So should be getting up to the first snare here shortly. Hopefully spot those grouse on the way. So it's a good sign here. There's some grouse tracks just under the shrubs there. This is pretty much where I've been seeing them on a regular basis. That spring is just up ahead past Chris, and I think they like that little bit of open water. Tracks go down there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's actually, at this time of year, you can track grouse. You can find a fresh track and then just kind of slowly follow them, because they do spend a lot of their time on the ground. And they don't like to fly so much, so you can just sort of follow along till you spot them. So yesterday, you might remember, I moved that snare from the one side of the trail to the other side of the trail, and I can see from here that was a good move. See the bunny up there? Just on the right. So there it is. And even though those are just 2 loose sticks stuck in the snow, that hare was not strong enough to hold them out. So that's 1. I'm 1 for 4. 3 more to check. So the bunny's out of the snare now, and I want this trail to reestablish itself. So this is kind of the beauty of, it's hard to imagine, this is so loose, right? And that bunny wasn't able to budge that, but all I want to do is set that aside, let this trail reestablish itself, and then when I come back later on, I can reset this snare here, and at that time I'll do what I showed you earlier and just kind of take it apart, smooth it out on my knee, remake it, retie it, and then put it back on the trail. So this one worked out perfectly. Here's snare number 2. So that's the one that I added a couple of guides to, because the hare kind of went around it, and you can see what happened last night is the hare didn't even take the same trail. He cut around to the right, so I might have to consider moving that snare later. Snare number 3 is just on the left.
Empty.
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 too bad. Now that one's snowed in a bit, so it's gonna have to get moved unless the rabbits.
The rabbit went around it though.
Yeah, actually he did that last time, and I put those sticks in. So maybe I'll just have to I'll adjust it. And then the fourth one is just ahead and on the right. I have a good feeling about this last one. It felt like a pretty good set. And look at that. Worked out. Two for 4. That's pretty good.
Yep.
I'll see if this trail reactivates itself, and I'll just put this over here where I'll find it later, then I can easily move it. We'll probably go set some snares in a new location today. Try out a new spot. No. Just getting a bit of footage of us each working.
Jeremy do all the work?
Yeah. They're like, how come Jeremy's always working? Because Chris has the camera.
It's
a lot of the time.
film. One films and one works.
Yeah, the filming is work. I'm exhausted right now filming.
People do get paid for filming.
Yeah.
As a full-time job.
Yeah.
Because it's actual work.
Yeah, and you can't do both at the same time sometimes. So anyway, we're both digging, and we're gonna pop this tent up. Hot tent. You have seen this tent in some of Chris's videos and on my channel in the 3-day overnighter. I forget what the title of the video was, but
Puddle Lake.
Puddle Lake. We went to Puddle Lake in the winter and caught some fish. It was good.
So the peak here.
Yeah.
Grab here.
Okay.
So hold the peak the whole time. You got the peak in your sand? Yeah. So we'll go over with this and hold this at the peak.
Okay.
And then it doesn't get jostled. Also when it's float.
Yeah. There it is. Here we are, all set up.
You didn't say action.
Action.
Action, here's some action.
All set up. Nice.
There's 2, my 2.
Hares.
Just so in case, because Jared's like, there's some continuity errors in there.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2. We only got 2. We actually got 4.
Hey, you want to be a YouTube star? Hey, you want to be a YouTube star?
Befriended a wolf.
Yeah. Trained it on the way.
Yep.
Rabbit sniffer. So I'll show you a couple things about this hot tent if you're not familiar with them. So you saw us set it up on the tripod frame. And we got the chimney coming out, wired onto a little tripod. It's only a 2-stick tripod. There's a couple of guy ropes off the side so they keep the walls pulled out so they don't sag in. And if you're cold, you can pack snow on that skirt at the bottom and keep the air from leaking in and out. But it's supposed to be pretty warm. Sitting at about 0 degrees right now. I think it's only going down to -4 tonight and then back up to 0 or +2 degrees Celsius tomorrow. So quite a bit warmer than I thought it was going to be.
Mild.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be -10 when I looked at the forecast last week, but anyway, that's where we're at. So we're going to get some rabbit stew going, and then we're going to get some grouse hunting going while it cooks. Get these hares cleaned up and chunked up. So I did one already, and it's cut up into 4 pieces. And I'll do this one, cut it up into 4 pieces, and then we'll maybe take stock of our food supply, and the other 2 I might put in the freezer, but or maybe we'll eat them tomorrow. We'll see. So the plan is to clean these guys, break them up into pieces. I have some venison bone broth that I made and I brought with me. So that's going to go into the pot. And I brought some sunchokes, some dried sunchokes. So those are going to go in the pot. And I brought some dried bolete mushrooms. So those are also going in the pot. And we'll get that all heated up and simmering away so that we have a rabbit stew for after grouse hunting. Just got a fire going while I finished cleaning those hares. So brought some wild rice maybe to cook later, and we're going to get some stock heating up in here, and then we'll be able to add that other food and make a stew. Here we go then. Venison bone broth. Venison bone stock, I guess, because I reduced it. There we go. Get that warmed up. I'll have to add a bit of water. So the stove's on and everything is in the pot. 2 hares, some mushrooms, some wild rice, and some sunchokes. While that pot is cooking, we're going to go for a little walk and see if we can find some grouse, and probably also set some snares if we find some good hare trails. So parts of this property are open hardwoods. Wouldn't expect to find very much going on there at this time of year. But then other parts of it are this mixed forest or the conifers, kind of lowlands near creeks and swamps. And that's where we're going to target grouse and hares. I don't think I'm going to bring the camera along with me on this one, just because it's a lot to manage with the gun and the snowshoes and whatever else. So maybe take a few pictures on my phone while I'm out, splice those in, and I will be back here to see you for our feast. Well, we saw 1 grouse that we flushed out of a tree, and that was it, but we saw some promising hare trails to set snares on tomorrow, and I brought back some birch bark. The tent's pretty warm, and that's simmering. Oh, I fogged my camera up. There's a big surprise. So we're gonna get this fire rocking again and keep that food on a simmer. Nice dry elm. That'll be good.
Yeah.
So it smells like rabbit stew in here. And pretty much set up for supper, eh?
Yep.
Just about set up to go to bed soon. It's not very late though. It's like 6:30 or something. Set my mitts up to dry here. 1, 2, 3. I'm missing one. Not as organized as I thought. Oh, I don't see it anywhere. That's weird. Anyway, oh, under my foot. Perfect. Pan's pretty hot. Oh, it's just going away, eh?
Yep.
That should be alright. A little water heating up back there. Good. White tablecloth. Set up.
Pretty schmancy.
Hungry camper.
We got bowls and spoons.
Yeah. Super fancy.
Pretty fancy.
Alright, there it is. And mostly you can just see the hair on top, right? But there is other food in there. The artichokes, wild rice, mushrooms, so we'll have to dig them out. Oops, as we get a little bit further down. There's a mushroom, I think. See if it's any good. Oh yeah. Tastes mushroomy. Nothing wrong with that. So we have brought this hare has entered the circle of life. And
Since birth.
yeah.
Just completing it.
Yeah. It's a circle of life for the video. Catch and cook hare. So it's been good, and tenting out in the hot tent overnight, so that's an added twist on the adventure. I don't know, do you think we'll keep that stove going all night?
It'll probably go out on its own.
Off and on?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
how much we want to feed it. If it's not cold, I'm not gonna wake up and feed it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's only supposed to go to -4 degrees tonight, so that's
You won't
I don't
even
know.
notice it being cold.
28 Fahrenheit or something, 27 Fahrenheit.
Not cold enough.
No. So it should be good. I have 2 sleeping bags here. And so we're going to eat, and we will check in the morning.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We're in the dark. Hold on. It's coming back.
Is it?
I don't know.
No.
Did you? No?
Just dead? What?
That's funny.
That's...
There.
What's
Turn my
that?
light on.
She just died.
Just died. Just giving you a low battery warning.
Maybe that's what it was. It was flashing for a while.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Gave you fair warning. What was I saying? We're going to check snares tomorrow. Set snares tomorrow. Burn firewood. Cook some food. Cook some wild food.
Shoot a grouse.
Yeah. Or 5 each.
Yeah.
That's our daily limit here. And anyway, we'll see what it's like.
See how much hair we can eat.
Yep. Yeah. So we got 2 in there.
There's a lot.
Yeah. We'll probably put a pretty good dent in it anyway. Alright, good night everybody. See you in the morning. Good morning. Chris let me sleep in, but it was a little bit cold in here for sleeping in, so I did the best I could, but I had to get up. And so Chris went, you checked your snares, missed 2.
Yeah, I missed 2.
Yeah, so actually after we signed out, Chris went out in the dark and set 4 snares because he couldn't go to bed early.
That's why I missed 2.
Yeah,
Dark
because you set
sets.
them up in the dark.
With a flashlight.
Yeah. So we're going to go out and set some more. And in the meantime, got all kinds of food cooking on the stove here, so I'll give you a little peek at this. I'm just warming up a little bit of raccoon fat here to pour onto some rainbow trout. Half of it's got wadobo, half of it is unspiced. And then in the pot, is it too hot to touch?
Yeah, it'll be too hot.
Just grab a glove here. So in the pot, there's some venison cooking in that same rabbit broth from last night. And then what happened to the rabbit that was in there? Is it still in there?
It's still in there.
Piece of rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one rabbit back with the nice tenderloin pieces. So we're going to leave this to cook. We figure we'll be about an hour, eh? We'll go set snares, cut some more firewood because we need some more better firewood for tonight. It's going to be colder tonight too, I think. And maybe shoot some grouse.
Maybe.
And then have a bite to eat. So that's what's coming up. And I will bring the camera with me this time. So follow along. Just some good spots here, so I'll give you a quick peek. Rabbit trail going right through that tight spot there. Gonna set a snare there. And then just in front of me, there's a good trail running through from there through here, so maybe I'll go set one just over there. Well, I set 3 snares, but I didn't really find any great firewood yet. But I saw some kind of dry stuff just down the trail here, so I'm going to cut some dried spruce and balsam. I was hoping to find a dead standing maple, but that'll have to wait. So one snare behind me, and we just stepped out of my snowshoe. I'll show you the first 2 that I set up here. Okay, one right here in this little brushy spot. Right there. And the next one is just up ahead. Right here in this little tight spot. And then the third one. So we'll see tomorrow morning how many out of 3 are successful. Fish cooking.
Which would you get?
Not much. I set 3 snares though. I just cut this on the way back to see where we were at with fish.
Almost ready.
Alright. Split this stuff up so it burns better. This is a limbing axe, not a splitting axe. Doesn't want to split it evenly either. Well, that smells really good. Oh, look at this. Et voila. Bear fat? I mean, raccoon fat on there?
Yep, raccoon fat and
Maple syrup?
syrup and some spices where you can't see it.
Yeah. No spice for me.
It's just not cooked yet in the middle here.
Okay.
It's always the tricky part.
Yeah, the thicker part.
So I pulled the spine out
Oh yeah.
just so that I
See
can
that.
get some heat in there. It's mostly done there. This part wasn't cooked 2 seconds ago, so a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Let some of that water evaporate and let it crisp up.
Find it really hard to keep hydrated when it's cold out and when it's raining out. I have to force myself to drink water, but I feel pretty dehydrated. It helps be eating lots of soup though, eh? Get more water in you.
Soups and salt.
Yeah.
Like, I think the salt makes you drink more too.
Yeah.
And you need it. The
You-
sweat.
Salt?
Yeah. That's what draws the water out.
Yeah. Electrolytes. Like you get it from other sources, right? That's kind of something that we.
Electrolytes is like the idiocracy solution to salt.
How do you
it's
mean?
just salt.
Well, there's-
Electrolytes is
Yeah, but there's more than just like NaCl, right? There's other salts.
potassium.
Yeah. Like we've been measuring our electrolytes this year and we're good even though we've only used a very small amount of sea salt. So I don't know that you...
It's from the food.
Yeah. Yeah, you get it from your food.
Yeah.
Plants and different bone broth and stuff like that.
It's in the bones. It's in the blood.
Well, Chris has our fancy table set here. Let's have a look at this. 17 days left of the big wild year. And then I'll be drinking cold beers and just eating potato chips and all this wild food be secondary to the video.
Getting fat.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
You have to.
You can go over to the Wooded Beardsman's channel and place bets on how fast I'm going to get fat in the new year.
You should do it by week.
Yeah.
Weigh yourself every week
Oh yeah, I will.
just to see what happens.
I'm down 40 pounds from where I was last year at this time.
My wager is in 2 years I'll be back up 40 pounds.
2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long time. I
Well,
can do
it's
that.
a long time, but you'll be back up to 40 pounds.
Maybe. I think it's easier to keep it off once you've gotten it off.
Everybody says the opposite, right?
Yeah,
The temptation's always going to be there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But, well, we'll see. I'm interested to see.
Eat according to the calories you burn.
I'd
You'll be just
like
fine.
to not get my 40 pounds back. And also because I got rid of all my clothes that don't fit me anymore. So I've only got thin Jeremy clothes now. I don't want to go out and buy all new clothes again.
You sound like every other person trying to lose
I
weight.
know, yeah. But I'm going to be that 1 in a million. Break this mold.
Just
Right.
when you do a lot of stuff, eat. And when you don't do a lot of stuff,
Don't eat.
don't eat.
Or just eat lots of celery.
Carrots and celery.
Calories in, calories out, and macronutrient balance. Because it affects your hormones and how you store fat and burn energy. So, a couple things to consider. Look at that. Oops. Lunch on the table. Supper on the stove. Venison cooking over there. Fish getting eaten over here.
You're not on.
No, I know. Like, oh, do I need to be on? You guys don't need to see me if you can just hear me.
Just see
right?
me eating the whole time.
Yep. Where are we? Oh, there we go.
We just narrate it.
We're both in. Just do a voiceover.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really good.
Oh, the caramelized part down here is gonna be really good.
Yeah. Get a spoon and just scoop that up.
Yep.
So we already had a chat on Chris's camera, so if you want to know all the things we've been talking about, head over there. What can we talk about now that's different from what we already talked about?
I don't know. Politics, religion.
Yeah, those are popular.
Yeah, right? How many subscribers do you want to
Lose?
trade? Well, you'd lose some and you would gain some.
Yeah.
Right? Polarizing effect. You'd collect more people who thought like you and you'd lose people who didn't.
Yeah.
Like part of your tribe or not.
We'll just talk about food because everybody likes food.
It's true. It's the universal unifier.
Yeah.
Everybody gets, well, you can talk about that. How about everybody gets together at the end of the day on a warm meal? Everybody. All over the world. I'm trying to figure out where to put this. You probably want some of it. People eat cold breakfast, cold lunch, but everybody eats a warm meal at the end of the day.
Do they?
Yep.
I guess I haven't really thought about it.
Think about it. It doesn't matter where you live. Everybody gets together.
And eats a hot meal.
It's a hot meal.
Warm you up before bedtime.
Well, it's social.
Yeah.
If you know people who just eat by themselves for dinner, they're lonely people. So, yeah. People who eat in front of the TV by themselves, or families that don't get together, you just talk about your day, right?
Yep.
You purposely take the time to sit down and catch up. That's all I got.
Yeah. I have a bone sideways in my throat, I think. Ouch. Every time I swallow, I feel it just like dig.
Might have scratched yourself.
No, there's a bone in there.
It's actually there.
It's still there.
You eat some bread and wash it down.
Yeah, that's the. I'll have to have some medicinal bread.
Got some fish in my beard.
Yep.
It happens.
See if I can just force it through with some fish.
Maple syrup might work.
Maybe. Just
Drag it
sugar
down.
lube it.
No.
Highly recommend drinking maple syrup, by the way. I think it's gone now.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't know if I've really had one stick like that before. I think it was a little one. Yeah, so what are we up to next? Set some more snares.
Yep.
Catch some more hares for tomorrow morning.
Yep.
We'll do a grouse hunt. And and we're going to get some venison into us for supper. And we'll probably have to cut some more good firewood for tonight.
Aged 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you've had like a venison hunting drought.
Due to lack of effort.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get lucky and it works out. Right, because you can get a deer. Your odds of getting a deer are the same every time you go out, I feel.
Yeah.
Right, they don't accumulate. Well, they do. If you said you were going to go out 25 times. I've done all this on my head a million times.
Yeah.
If you go out 25 times where I live, you're 100% guaranteed to get a deer. But if you go 24 times and then the 25th time you go out, your odds of getting a deer are the same as every one of those other 24 times.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like compound, right? Because you've already been unsuccessful that many times. So I don't know how many hunts I'm on, but it's over, like since I've got a deer, it's probably 40 or 50.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you sit for like a good 2 or 3 hours, right?
Yep. Yeah, in the peak morning, like first 2, last hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a scope and I could shoot out 100 yards, I would have had two chances this year at a deer. It was just outside of my comfort zone with iron sights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I haven't been doing the gun except for this year.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely more challenging with the bow, right?
Way more challenging to get inside of 20 yards on a deer.
Yeah.
Yep. I just need to spend more time out in the woods.
We'll do it.
It gets cold now. It's hard to sit still in the deer.
Yeah, and does your bow season run till the end of January?
December.
Or sorry, the end of, yeah, until January, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to have
Ours is done here now.
You have to be in an area where the deer stay all winter,
Yeah.
and they don't. My area is pretty typical where they
That makes it tricky too, right? Because
They
their
move
habits
out.
change.
they don't have enough cover in the areas that I hunt, and they move into areas that have lots of cover. So people that hunt successfully in the late season have an area where deer congregate. It's not like they yard, because it doesn't get cold enough for them to yard, but they group up. So instead of seeing like 1 or 2 singles or bucks by themselves, you end up seeing like 8 at the same time.
Oh yeah.
If you're in a good spot. If you're not in a good spot, you don't see any. You just stop seeing them usually around when the leaves drop, because the cover, they just lose 50% of the cover.
Yeah.
The grass, the vegetation's dead, the crops are getting pulled off, so they don't have a really good place to hide anymore, and they move out.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. I can still go out occasionally if it's like not too bad weather, but sitting still up in a tree and it's windy and cold
Yeah.
is not fun.
No.
You can do it, but it's not fun. It gets so cold where you can't use your hands to climb down the tree at the end. Painful.
We're on a pretty good boil there. Maybe whatever was going to overboil is overboiled.
Yeah, you pull it off and pitch some of it.
Just let it simmer there.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty full.
Pretty full.
Did you add more water, or it's just nope, same as before?
No, I just put the venison in, but whatever spilled over.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good enough, but
Oh, yeah.
obviously might do that a bit. Not too bad though.
All right. We'll finish up here. Whoop, lunch, and then next stop is hare snaring and firewood.
Yep.
And a grouse hunt. I saw some tracks when I was setting snares earlier, so hopefully there's a few around. We're just setting up a trail here with snares along it. So Chris is just a bit behind me setting up a spot, and I just made this set here. Give you a close-up on a good bunny trail there, and on to the next trail. So last year my son asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I asked him for some snare wire, and so he picked up some snare wire for me for the big wild year. This is stainless steel, and I usually use the brass stuff. So I just ran out of my brass wire, and I finally got to use this stuff. I didn't use it last year because I started snaring and we got snow, and then snow, and then snow, and then snow, and I just got tired of lifting my snares up and up and up, and I kind of quit for the year. But this year has been really good for snaring so far, and I'm happy that I did get to use his snare wire in the big wild year. So I'm hoping I catch something with it in the next day, and so I just wanted to give him a little shout out and say thanks, and I'll show you the snare that I just set up. So there's the snare just over here, 2 little guide sticks, 1 pole on a heavily used path, and fingers crossed for a hare. I decided to stop here and cut a little bit of this dry poplar, take it back to camp with us. Home sweet home. So snares are set. Chris is, oh, you're filming, but also
I'm done.
Cut up all the venison stew, which is looking really good. So between now and supper, I'm not really sure what to do. We might just relax for a little bit, which is kind of unheard of. But it's cozy enough in here. We'll probably get that fire going a little bit hotter soon, and we do not need any more firewood for the night, so we don't have to cut firewood. So it's relax time and check in for supper. It was warm enough today that I didn't have to wear my snow pants. But tonight is not going to be like last night. I had a peek at the weather forecast and it's going down to minus 12 degrees. Feels like minus 20 degrees Celsius with the wind chill. And tomorrow it's not supposed to warm up from there. Just going to be minus 12 all day and minus 20 with the wind chill. So it'll be a little bit different tomorrow than it was today. But tomorrow's our last day, so the excitement in the morning will be our big haul of hares. Hopefully we'll go check all those snares, and that should be good if we don't get too much snow messing up the trails. And then we're going to do some cooking tomorrow before we do a little wrap, so stick around and see what tomorrow brings. Tonight is venison stew. That's the next thing on the list. So that stew's been on the stove since this morning. Chris cut it up partway through the day. It's going to be super tender. There's a rabbit back in there too. The stock is venison bone broth stock with the, oh, we're going to add some wild rice. I should do that right now. And there's do some artichokes in there as well, which we call sunchokes. Yeah, do you want to not do that, or do you want to do that? No. Yeah, throw some rice in. Yeah.
Filming me whining about.
Not a lot of room for rice in there. A little bit, and I'll stir it. So we, for the first time, got the chimney red hot. And it was just glowing over there. I fogged up the camera. Anyway, imagine that chimney with a red glow to it. So we just quickly adjusted the damper on the front and cooled it down a bit. But it's warmed up in here. I got my toque off, my coat off, my one shirt off, and we're almost ready to eat. We're just waiting for that rice to cook. Lights, camera, action. Venison stew. Take two. Because we, ooh, steamy. We already opened up this stew and cracked into it and had a little chat.
It's not quite in the middle here.
Chris's camera.
I might lose it. There you go. Better.
Okay. And it's pretty good. So we'd already talked about deprivation and indulgence.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about now?
I don't know. Gluttony.
Gluttony?
Guess that's kind of the same topic.
Just in the context of the foods that are available to people, and
You can eat whatever you want.
yeah, for a lot of people, like, there's a whole world of food at their fingertips. And that'll be my big challenge in the new year. What will I eat? And that's what a lot of people have been asking.
Everything.
What are you going to eat? And that's what I say, everything. Because I'm not really sure yet, except that there are some things actually that I probably won't eat for a while anyway. Dairy, gluten,
Yeah.
refined sugar.
Stay away from the big ones.
Yeah,
The big inflammation inducers.
Yeah.
Known inflammation inducers.
yeah.
White sugar.
Coffee, caffeine.
Yeah. Coffee, caffeine. Alcohol. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do.
Well, been a whole year without, so what's the rush to get back into it?
Yeah. I feel a lot better not
Yeah,
drinking. It was making me feel so bad. It was longer than a week. Just getting my digestive system back.
after drinking. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that wasn't worth it for me anymore. And I don't miss it at all, really.
No.
My brother, Kevin, recently gave up alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
I think he was finding the same things.
Yeah.
It was just making him feel upset, and then
Yeah.
not emotionally upset, physically upset, and then just being tired the next day too. Right? When you're young,
Yeah.
it's like whatever. But now you have responsibilities, so you can't really afford to be tired sometimes. You got kids to take care of.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're hungover.
No. Yeah, that's tricky. My dad quit drinking when he was, well, when I was maybe 8 or 9 or 10. I think it's probably one of the things that I most admire about him. Just quit cold turkey one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty
But there are
much.
definitely like some hot summer days where I'll probably drink a beer.
Yeah.
But as far as like having one every night, or I don't really feel like I need to do that.
Is it the taste of the alcohol, or is it the culture around it?
Yeah, I think it's like a little bit of everything.
How it makes you feel?
Like that cold, people are gonna start cracking into a beer. But like when they cold coming out of the fridge, and I don't know, it's not water, it's not juice.
Yeah.
Get a little bit buzzed.
I don't know, man. Like, all I drink is water,
Yeah,
pretty much. But just the feeling of being hydrated.
Yeah.
Like I know when I I drink enough that I know when I'm not dehydrated to just drink water. Like, I don't know. Feels good.
And I've only drank water now for a whole year pretty much, and herbal tea.
Hmm?
And I still don't know if I've gotten properly hydrated because I just have a hard time drinking fluids in quantity.
Yeah. You just have to go till your pee's clear.
Yeah.
It's a really good rule of thumb.
Yep. Yeah, and it's pretty easy to tell when you're peeing in the snow all the time. Like, oh, I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
Oh, still dehydrated.
I start my day off like that. I don't really eat anything, and I drink two glasses of water or so. Just sip it.
Yep.
And when I have 2 peas and they're clear, I'm good.
Yep.
And then if I do, exercise or whatever, then kind of feel it right away.
Oh yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to in the new year, is that I didn't do any exercise this year because I just wanted to see if, because like we're eating only wild food, but we're also hunting and gathering and fishing all the time, and I wanted to see if that level of activity was enough to stay fit and maintain my my aerobic capacity and my strength. So once this year wraps up, I'm interested to go back and do some just like exercise again,
Yeah.
because I've lost a little bit of strength. But I think I need to work on my cardio a bit. And it'll be good to sweat some more and do that.
Yep. For leisure purposes only.
Kind of.
Like lifestyle.
Leisure and vanity.
Yeah, well, purposefully exercising rather than
And health.
incidentally doing
Yeah.
it because of, today or yesterday. Just how much walking we've done.
Yeah.
Because we had to in order to get food.
Yep. Yeah, because these are always pretty physically intensive.
Yeah, I always feel like you just trade. Like you do that when you're not doing the other. Like do the standard gym stuff.
Yeah.
When you're not out doing
Yeah.
foraging. Like
Yeah.
to do both, you're just gonna wear yourself out.
Yeah, I would
It's
never come out and do
unnecessary.
this and then be like, oh, I missed a leg day. Like, I just had a pretty serious leg day.
Yeah.
Hauling myself around all over the place through the deep snow.
Yeah. you can't chase the gains like that though.
Oh, maybe not.
Well,
I'm
you
not
won't.
I'm not a gains chaser, though.
Well,
Like,
you won't unless you do it. Like you basically have to eat and exercise to get the gains. It's like not conducive to any other kind of lifestyle. Then it's pure vanity just to show off. Getting into the rib cage now.
Yeah, I've been finding lots of the little bones.
Mm-hmm. Those are the annoying ones.
Anyway, so we're going to eat a pile of this venison stew.
Yeah.
I'll show you a little picture of what it looks like here. And then probably going to talk some more, keep the fire going, and then we're going to jump up early tomorrow, check all those snares, and see what we get into.
Yep.
Because that's exciting. Chris taught me everything he knows about snaring, and I taught him everything I know about snaring, and then between the two of us, I don't know if we got dumber or smarter or confused, but I feel like a lot of the snares that we set look really good.
Yeah.
And so I think we have good chances.
How do you like the 5-year aged venison?
It's excellent.
Isn't it? It's fine. It's
Yeah.
a 4 or 5. Was it 2015? I forget now.
That's 4 years.
14 or 15. Yeah, it's either 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah, like you wouldn't.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I wouldn't know.
No.
No, it's really tasty. I have pork in my freezer from 3 years ago. And I find pork does get a taste after a while. But it's not terrible. So I'm still planning to... Like, I have a pile of pork. If it was a little bit, maybe I would throw it out. But I've got maybe 80 pounds
Yeah.
of pork. So that's one of my... what am I going to eat next year? Pork! Because I need to. I got to make that space in my freezer and get something fresher in there.
Yeah, might as well.
Apples. I ate so many apples after.
Did you process them all? Or
Yeah.
Did you lose some?
Hardly any got wasted.
Yeah.
We ate so many. Made juice, made applesauce. I probably was eating like 10 a day
You like apples like
for
that?
a month.
I went back to the tree after I'd frozen. It was actually like you could eat it, but you couldn't take it home. It was like
Yeah.
you bit into it and it was like, I don't know, it's difficult to describe because it had froze, right?
Oh yeah.
But it was warm enough so that it wasn't frozen anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like apple pie, like cold apple pie.
Yeah.
It was still good.
And then as soon as it warms up,
Well, yeah,
the warm, it's like mush.
It's
right?
off the tree, you can eat it, but you can't take it anywhere.
Yeah.
But that tree still has apples on it. I have to go back to that tree. It's a good tree. To spread some of those seeds around and get some more apple trees like that. It's good one. It's close to a mac. Pretty
Yeah.
close.
They're really good. I think I'm interested too, like to eat some nuts other than walnuts and acorns.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Cashews.
Yeah.
Cashews are the best
Yeah.
ones.
And like trail mixes, dried raisin, like all those convenient things that you can just
Easy.
snack on. I
Yeah.
always have to watch my quantities.
It increases your product. Well, yeah, that's too. A third of a cup is like 300 calories. It's easy, but I don't know if your body gets all 300 calories of it. Depends how well you chew, I think. A lot of it just comes right through. There's no way you're getting 350 calories out of it. Yeah. Just because it's marked on the label. Maybe if it's ground up, real fine.
Just varies from person to person.
Well, that too.
Yeah. All right.
It's good table talk.
About pooping out nuts.
Yep.
That's what everybody wants to know about.
It's like a bear.
All right. See you in the morning. Good morning. It's our last day. Maybe it's going to be our most exciting day. We're going to go check those traps in a little bit, but we decided to do some packing up and to cook a fish before we go out. So that's our plan. I kept the stove going through the night, so pretty much every 2 hours I woke up and filled it with firewood again. Kept it pretty warm in here. Slept pretty well. We both had pretty crazy dreams, eh? You're already half packed up over there.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. It's a little bit dark in here for filming, but just a quick update. I'll show the fish in a minute, which will be like 40 minutes from now in real life, but we're going to get it on the stove there. And I think the good news is that we don't have to cut any more firewood. We should have enough to get us through all of our cooking and packing up. Check out our fish. Snared that one yesterday. Kidding. It's almost cooked, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, looks good.
The top of it is a little stubborn.
Yeah. Gotta flip that head over so it cooks on the other side too. Oh, it's stuck. That might be a two-hand job. Oh, burning. Yeah, I'll do that with 2 hands. There's a little fire. Still a nice bed of cooking coals in there. Almost time for morning food. Just about there.
Yeah.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, really. Fish for breakfast. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
We have fish for breakfast.
Fresh fish.
Fresh fish. That's, yeah. Good to get the calories in me.
Yeah.
We had fish for breakfast in Scotland when we went.
Mhm.
I don't know, it didn't feel weird to me.
I don't know why it would be weird.
It's like eating a steak for breakfast. You wouldn't.
That's good too.
And I know. Not a lot of people would consider eating a steak and big meal for breakfast, but
No.
why not? You're really missing out without spices and the maple syrup,
Yeah.
which you drank.
Yeah. I forgot that we had another fish, so I drank the rest of the maple syrup. I think you saw me do it on camera, actually. Guilty as charged. I was just thinking, I'm not sure if Delphine and I ate 400 pounds of fish this year or not. It was in our calorie budget.
Mm-hmm.
We did eat a lot of fish. And I think that's why our mercury levels went up so high. Eating lots of fish and fish skin and fish organs. So, be something to check into. At some point I'd like to do some testing of how much mercury and other toxins are in the skin and in the organs relative to the amount that's in the flesh, which is what they report. If you read the Guide to Eating Ontario Sport Fish, Michigan also has a guide to eating sport fish. I think I asked some people at a foragers gathering that I was at, and they indicated that there was such a thing. So I think probably a lot of jurisdictions have that. But they do not report what's in the skin or the organs. They just tell you, don't eat skin and organs.
Have you talked about why it's there? How it's there?
Not really, but
Do we think it's naturally occurring or
Oh.
semi-naturally occurring in some of our northern Ontario lakes that haven't
thought you meant-
been polluted?
from bioaccumulation up food chains. So your predator fish have more levels than your fish below them because it accumulates. But most of it's most of those chemicals are not naturally occurring. So a lot of them can be airborne pollutants or from industrial discharge. A lot of them are agricultural and industrial pollutants. That's like a legacy. Like they're from the 70s. People realized they were really bad in the environment. They limited their use, or in some cases even eliminated their use altogether, but they still persist in the environment at toxic levels that they measure and warn people about. The mercury can come from natural causes, but it also can already be in the environment, although it's usually at a pretty low background level. One thing that releases it is when they create these large reservoirs for hydroelectric power. It releases mercury that's kind of trapped in the sediments or in the soil, and then that all kind of is released and then bioaccumulates in the food chain. So
Can mercury become airborne?
it can.
Can. Because I grew up on a lake that had walleye in it, and the lake was known to have very high levels of mercury, and we ate the fish anyway.
Yep.
It was a fairly remote lake.
A little lake nearby to that one also has very
Cottage.
high mercury levels.
Yeah. So I think in some cases it can just be naturally in the system, but I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Some of those lakes too, I think I think there was like small industry set up on those lakes a long time ago that you're not even really aware of anymore. Like brick factories sometimes, or other processes, tanneries.
Do you know the lake I'm talking about?
Yep.
Commando Lake?
No,
No. Commando
I
Lake.
thought you meant Nosbonsing Lake,
No.
because I was
Commando.
thinking Wassy Lake has very high mercury levels.
Commando Lake. It's pretty, like there was only cottages on it.
Yeah.
And it was being developed for cottages when I was young.
Yep.
And I don't think there was anything else out there. You know where Command is?
Mhm.
Out near Trout Creek.
Yep.
So, but it was known to have very high levels. As far as I know, there's no industry on the lake.
Yeah. Interesting. And we'll show you. Go for a little snowshoe walk. I think I'll bring the sled again, because it's going to be full of hares to come back.
Yeah, 20
We don't want to carry them.
hares.
Yeah.
Would be a heap at the back.
Yeah. Stack them up like cordwood. So that's we'll check on those guys and follow along. We'll see what happens. Alright, we're going to take one sled. We're 0 for 5 so far. It's not good odds. We're not going to catch 10 at that rate. You can see how covered up our tracks are from yesterday. That's how much snow we got in the night. But it's not enough to bury our snares. So they're all fine. A few coming up here. I'll show you the next bunch, see how we made out. 0 for 6. Nothing. That was a good one too. There's some tracks on top of our tracks. Yesterday, fox and hare. So there's been some activity here. Yeah, so the story of that one, if you read the story in the snow, the fox came and pulled that hare off broke the wire. So 0 for 8. 0 for 9. Oh man. 0 for 10. And then this might not be good news. There's a fox trail right here on top of our trail. And Chris set a snare right up ahead here somewhere. Let's see how it made out. Snare number 11. Yeah, it's hard to see in there, but 0 for 11. It's not looking so good. So you see where the fox used our snowshoe trail. And I remember an old timer telling me that when he would trap, he would always set a snare on his back trail. And more often than not, he would catch himself a fox or a coyote that way, because they like to use your trail. Okay, what do we got here? Lots of tracks on this trail. And none in my snare back there. 0 for 11. That was 11. This is 12. 0 for 12. 0 for 13.
0 for 13?
Yeah.
Oh. That was a really good one. Did it move at all?
No.
Didn't even go through?
No. So we're 0 for 13, but I have 3 more snares set back at the tent. We're going to check those. Then we're going to do a pack up, and then we'll go back to my house where I've got 4 more snares, which is 4 more chances. So hang in there till the end and see if we get one. Alright. This is where the 3 are near the tent. I don't know if I showed this yesterday, but you can see where the hares have been feeding here. This kind of heavy snow tips the shrubs over, and then the hares can reach all the tender shoots. They love that. And there's a bunch of trails in here. So we'll see if any of my snares panned out. There's a lot of tracks since yesterday. And my first snare got pushed. That's one. My second snare has got nothing. It looks like a rabbit jumped through, deked around it a bit. So, nothing there. And the third one, where's my third one? Just over here somewhere. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you catch the hares, and sometimes they evade all your efforts. I kind of feel like I might have... Oh no, I know where it is. They set it up on this hill here. Hang in there. So my other one's over here, and it looked like it got bumped. So we'll just get in here and straighten that one out, and we'll head back to the tent. Next stop is the 4 snares, 4 chances. So the night that Chris got here, I was 2 for 4 on those snares. So maybe that's where our best chances are, I don't know. So we still have a chance here to finish our weekend adventure with some fresh caught hares again. So let's see how things turn out here. There's a grouse track here, kind of a fresh one. So we basically come full circle back to where we started on the first day, behind my house, and my 4 snares that I've had set up for a few days. So we caught 2 hares in them the first morning, 0 hares the second day, which was yesterday, but we reset the 4 of them. Now we're going to check them out. And I've been telling Chris that I've seen grouse like 90% of the time when I come up here. I've been up here like 50 times, so that's like 48 times I've seen grouse. But he's reckoned my average. Because now I've taken him up here, this will be our 3rd time.
Because it's because they know somebody's actually going to shoot them.
Well, normally I'm shooting at them.
Yeah?
I've shot so many grouse on this trail with my leshy. Just the air gun?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's why there's none left.
No, they're still here.
All right.
I just saw them. I saw 4 with my kids when we cut our tree the other day. They're around. Anyway, we're just getting up to the hot spot for them, so hopefully we see them. And some snowshoe hares. I don't know how many grouse I've shot on this trail here this year, but it's quite a few. And I'd have to check. I've been keeping track this year of all my food that I've been catching. I think that I've got 26 grouse this year, and one of them I caught in a hare snare, which has never happened to me before. So that was pretty neat. If you follow my community page, you might have seen a post about that. Try and put the odd update there, especially when I'm doing something cool but not filming it. Right, we're coming up on the first snare. I see it. This is snare number 17 for today, and it is empty. So what's going on here? Kind of looks like a rabbit might have pushed that to the side, eh?
It went to the right here.
Came.
No, it went.
Oh, it jumped
there.
around.
Yeah. Walk your snares off more, Jeremy.
Yeah.
You're gonna cut down trees now and put them all the way across.
Build fences through the woods.
Yeah.
Just big funnels.
I'm telling you. That's the way to go.
There. Keep them on track.
I lost on that one.
Yeah. You're gonna fence them.
Well, it came this way too.
All right. Well, that's 1 out of 4. 17 out of 20. Let's see what's going on up ahead.
Totally
robbed.
Look at it, smashed this whole area up.
Yeah, pushed all your little barrier and pushed my snare out of the way. Something happened to this one. There he is. So that's the first time that one's taken the pole and run with it. Here we go. We're 1 for 19. Hello, bunny. Success. We searched high and low and could not find the 20th snare. I think what happened is maybe it caught something which ran off with the snare stick. And I think it happened before most of the snow fell last night, so I didn't see any fresh tracks. And that's that, which happens sometimes. So I just have to keep track. So I've got 3 snares left here and 16 over in the other spot where we were camped out, and I'll check them tomorrow. So I'm going to sign off of this hare snare catch and cook, but I'll post some updates. So if you want to know how the snaring works out over the next few days, I will post updates to my community page on YouTube, so you can pop over there for pictures and descriptions, and that's how I'll do updates. Alright, signing out. See you guys on the next video.